Hello everybody, it's me again, and in this video I'm going to show you multiple items in my collection. Today I just got my new 30mm and I decided to do a video on modern day American ammunition. Now, I do in fact have two 40mm grenades that could technically fall into this category. However, for this video I'm going to be reviewing these six. I'm going to go over the grenades in a separate video. Also, please note that all of these rounds that are part of the American military are also NATO standard. So everything you see here is used by most European nations. However, some European nations, like Germany for example, on their aircraft they don't use 20mm, they use 27mm, which isn't used in any American weapons system. So, but they're still part of NATO. So, however, these are the NATO set standard rounds. So, obviously, we'll start off here. This is a 5.56 by 45mm round. This is the standard assault rifle cartridge for all the NATO countries. It's used by, almost every modern assault rifle you can think of. The FAMAS, the M16, the M4, the G36, the F2000, the list goes on. I don't actually have a 5.56 with a projectile. However, this is a blank that is used to fire rifle grenades. This would have come out around in the Vietnam era, and well, I have two casings, and since it is a blank crimp, it looks a little bit more like the size. So, to give you an idea, this is what the M16 fires. That really isn't much. But it gets the job done. But alright. Put this back here. Moving on, we have the 7.62 by 51mm NATO cartridge. This is 30 caliber. It's ballistically identical to the 30-06, however, more manageable in recoil, manageable in size. The projectile is really small. I'm not going to take it out right now though. In comparison to some of the older projectiles. For example, here's a French projectile from World War I, and that's almost 100 years old. But so it's still very powerful. It's known as the 308 in civilian use. However, civilians can buy 7.62 by 51 ammunition, and also this is known as the 223 in the civilian world. Alright, moving along. Very famous and very powerful 50 BMG cartridge, 12.7 by 99mm. This is a big round. A huge round for small arms. It is, I just try to give you a good size comparison because a lot of people don't know how big an actual 50 cal is. I have an empty casing for this as well, at Spanish produced, if you can tell. That projectile is huge and extends all the way down to the neck. It's a lot bigger than the other small arms casing. Excuse me. This is the NATO standard 20 by 102mm. The projectile itself, to give you a size comparison idea, is taller than the 7.62 by 51. So it may not look ridiculously big on camera, however this has 40,000 foot-pounds of energy and is definitely capable of taking out light armor, missiles that are coming in, bunkers, things like that, and definitely infantry. And it's mainly used for anti-aircraft, so this is a rather big, it's a very big round. And there are actually a couple of civilian weapons that fire this, like the Anzio Ironworks 20mm. The civilians are actually allowed to have a rifle chamber for this. This has a fake wooden projectile before I go any further, but this is a 25 by 137mm. The Bradley Infantry Fighting Vehicle is Bushmaster M242 cannon is chambered for this. A very big round. Here's the 5.56 in comparison. Very big, very powerful, even the 50 cal in comparison. Which is it's just a very big round. So there's what the Bradley would use. and this is brand new. This is my 30 by 173 millimeter. You put it behind the 25. I mean, it is ridiculously big and ridiculously powerful. And as the 20 millimeter projectile is as big as a 7.62, the 30 millimeter projectile is as big as the 50 cal itself. Let's get it on some flat ground. So, I mean, this in its own right is what actually, exits the barrel. And so this 30 millimeter is the. Now I'm going to go over what kind of weapons or weapon systems would use these. This 30 millimeter, the dimensions wise, is the NATO standard for the A-10's GAU-8 Avenger cannon, and the GAU-8 is also used on the Sea-Wiz Goalkeeper. But yeah, so this is the standard size. However, like I said, there are deviations with other European countries. The Warrior IFV of Britain fires one that has a Rarden case that's 3 millimeters shorter. But this case itself is actually very rare. The casing was made in 1977, and the projectile was made in 1972. Now this is actually a prototype cartridge made for the GAU-9, which was a single barrel but 5-chamber cannon that was going to be used on the A-10 if its GAU-8 project was a failure. So this is the exact same size as the round that is used in the A-10 and by NATO countries. However, this is an older and rarer experimental round. As I said, with this 25 millimeter, it is used in the Bushmaster M242 cannon. It's also used by the Mark 38 naval gun and the Mark 38 Mod 0. This round, this round is used by the A61 cannon, the GAU-197. Heck, a lot of things. The M167 Vulcan Air Defense. It's used by the Anzio Ironworks rifle. It's used by the M39, which is the cannon on the Freedom Fighter, F5 Freedom Fighter. So this one is very common. And let me just say, for any of you wanting to get into collecting ordnance, this has got to be the most common round and one of the first. I mean, this is the first big cartridge I got that anyone will ever get. I actually have 2 of them. I don't know if you can see over there, I have another dummy round with this one. And 50 cal, obviously used in the M2, the Ma Deuce. It's used in the GAU-21, which is the helicopter version, using the Barrett MA2 M107, using the GAU-19 3-barrel rotary gun, using a lot of things. 7.62x51, used by even more things as we keep going down and have more uses. So this is using the M240, the M134 minigun. It's used in the M14, M21, Stoner Rifle 25. I mean, the list goes on. And the same with the 5.56 millimeter. I went over a lot of the assault rifles that is chambered for. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm already at 8 minutes. And I'll eventually probably go over these in detail, but I hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys next time.